Hello, back again for another unboxing and review. Today it's going to be a quick one, but I saw these and I just had to pick them up. So these are BeyBlade Micros, so these are official BeyBlade products, and as the name would suggest, these are the small version, Micro. Alright, so this apparently is Series 2, and in this series there appear to be 8 different tops, and each kit, according to the back, gives you a launcher. And it seems that the top itself is 2 different parts, probably the bottom and the top. Okay, and yeah, so you can see there Hasbro and all D-Rights and all that good stuff. Sunright. So this is, like I said, they may be small, but they're not some knockoff you get out of a vending machine. As far as the packaging, I think it's really colorful. I saw these from quite a far distance away, so I would say the packaging works, and yes, it's a blind bag type scenario with 8 different possibilities. So let's go ahead and open it right up here. I'm just going to rip it. Do they have any tear here type deal? I don't see any tear here, so I'm going to go ahead and make a cut in the bag. So I just made a little snip there. That should be enough. And it was. So what's... Okay, so... Okay, got everything out there. There's our ripcord. Actually, I mean, it's obviously shorter than a full-size one, but it's not as small as I thought it would be, which is good. It should give us some extra revolutions, right? Okay, and the top is kind of folded in what I assume is an instruction manual. So here are... So here are the instructions. You got your warning first, and then assembly. So yeah, it looks like the bottom and the top to launch. Alright. Okay, so let's look at the actual top here. Here is the launcher. So it seems to be more like just a guide, which you've set on top of the top. Yeah. So a little different than the official regular launchers. As you can see, not quite as much to it. And here is the top. Okay, here's your tip. So, got a rounded bottom tip. Looks like it has some offensive things here. 4 of them in a kind of cross pattern. And then the top. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put it together, read the very short instructions there, and alright, so assembly is, as you guess, really simple. You take the bottom or the tip here, the performance tip, take the top, put it like so, then while you hold the energy layer, or the top portion, you just go ahead and turn the tip clockwise. And you see it snaps and locks, and then there you go. Now, don't get too excited thinking that, oh, it's going to have burst feature, because this is not a BeyBlade burst top. So that whole putting it together is just to put it together. And also the instructions, it does not talk about bursting, okay? It's just about how to ring out and surviving for the win. So no bursting. Alright, now, you may notice that this top has this little crown on here that looks a lot like a gear, and that's for good reason, because that's essentially how the top's going to go about spinning. And what I mean by that is this gear is what gets grabbed by the ripcord, and as the ripcord passes by, it turns that white gear, which is statically, so it does not spin in relationship to the top. So as this spins, the whole top spins. Okay? Now here's our launcher. You can see the launcher, as I already said earlier, is really simplistic, and that's because part of the mechanism is on the top itself, as opposed to a regular launcher that we have here. You can see the whole turning mechanism is in the launcher itself. As we're here, half of that mechanism is on the top, so this gets more simplified. So anyway, you can see you put this in there, and of course if you don't put the ripcord in, it just falls right out, because the ripcord is what's going to essentially hold these 2 parts together, top and launcher. So you load that in there like so, and you can see. Okay, so yeah, that's all there is to that. I'm going to go ahead and let's just open up the other one to see what other top I got, and then we will do ahead and do a quick battle. But before we do the battle, I want to do a size comparison with the regular size BeyBlade tops. But let's just open this one real quick, see what else I get. Whoever it is, it has a red bay tip. And, alright. So there we go. And of course the launcher and the ripcord, same as before. Alright, so I'm noticing on these, both of these here, let me get this one out here. Looking at these, they don't seem to have a real aggressive, I'm not seeing any like wings or any obvious protrusions. This one even seems to be even more rounded, so maybe this is a defense type, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'm not seeing any crazy, but anyways, let's look at the tip here. So okay, another pretty flat, not super flat, but overall flat base, okay. And before we go ahead and do the battle of these two, I wanted to show you how their size in relationship to a normal size BeyBlade. Now this is yes, a burst top. This is a level 3, so this is V3, so Veltrek, and you can see the size difference there. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, so they're obviously smaller, of course, but they're also lacking many features, especially compared to like these V3 or level 3 ones that have burst feature and all extra spring-loaded tips and all this stuff. So, well, of course, you're losing a lot of features for the size, and we'll get back to that in a second. But before we go to that, let's go ahead. I'm going to drop these two in an arena, a regular size arena, so they're going to have a lot of room to move in, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, so here we have the two tops. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that due to their simplicity, you can launch them either left spin or right spin, or clockwise or counterclockwise, by simply loading the ripcord as you see here. So this one here is clockwise, and this one here is counterclockwise. So, and we have our official sized BeyBlade arena here. And we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to drop in this one first, and we'll do this guy second. So here we go. Alright, we're close tied, almost tied. This guy lasted a little bit longer. We'll do one more round. Okay, round 2. Alright, and this time this one lasted a little bit longer. So yeah, they actually do some, actually clashing and what have you, so they do work. But again, due to the limited power and, well, since they don't actually burst or anything, it's not quite as dramatic as, like, say, a burst top. But, I mean, they do work. So there you have it. If you are truly limited in the amount of space you have in your pockets for BeyBlade tops, these are probably the ones for you. However, I think anybody who's seriously into BeyBlade will take the size increase to get all the features that something like this provides. But these do make good party favors or maybe stocking stuffers.